The real estate specifically is leverage is oftentimes seen as a status symbol. So just as much as the kind of car that you drive or whatever, saying, oh, my admin, or oh, my assistant, or oh, my buyer's agent is a status symbol. Oh, wow, she's got a buyer's agent. Oh, wow, she's got an admin. But if you're paying for a buyer's agent just so that you can say that you have a buyer's agent, but you're giving away 50% of the commission just because, even though you could have done it, well, we've got a conversation to have. If you've hired an admin, but they're not trained properly, you're not communicating with them, they're not communicating with you on what they need to be successful, you're not holding them to a certain kind of return on investment. Now you kind of feel stuck because they're such a lovely person and you care for them and you don't want to make them unemployed. And so now that is an expense. That's a liability. That's not even leverage at that point. So we have to always, always, always make sure that we are looking at it objectively, that we are asking ourselves, if I'm going to make this investment, what does an ROI, a successful ROI, look like for me? Now, you can define that by yourself. You can also talk about industry standards. You can ask me. I'm more than happy to help you in terms of systems or looking at what is the industry standard. What are people paying? What is the average return on investment? But the idea here is that we want to grow successfully. We want to grow sequentially. We want to grow as lean as possible. And remembering that the purpose of business, first and foremost, is profit. Now, we can talk about the 3 Ps, right? So we've got people, we've got purpose, we've got profits. And if we actually do the 4 Ps, we also have planet, right? So I want my people to be happy. I want my business to be profitable. I want my people and my business to be in alignment with its purpose. And I want to make sure that we are having a positive, or at least a net neutral effect on the planet as much as we can. That's a level of moving through and having a business that is focused consciously on the impact that it makes on its people, on its purpose, and on its profits and planet, right? So the idea here is no matter where we are running it through that filter. And so if I can run my business and I can keep 70 cents of every dollar instead of 30 cents of every dollar, why wouldn't I? Well, I have to ask myself, is this hire going to increase income, or is it going to give me back time, right? Again, for those of you, and again, I'm seeing you most, so that's why this conversation is very real estate specific, is if I hire a transaction coordinator, I am not going to see more money come in because I hired a transaction coordinator. I hired a transaction coordinator and that gave me back time. Now, either that's a trade-off of time that I'm willing to pay for so that I can spend time with my family, or that's a trade-off on time that gave me back time so that I can go back out into the field and I can go attract more business, right? So the transaction coordinator is not going to give me an ROI. I'm not going to see someone, no one's going to randomly send me an email and say, your transaction coordinator is so wonderful, here's another listing. It's not going to happen. My marketing person, absolutely, there is going to be an ROI where that person is going to maybe send out a postcard that someone calls on and says, hey, I got your postcard. Will you come look at my house? Well, that's a direct, we wouldn't have had that money if that postcard didn't go out to that person. I can source where that role has paid for itself, where that role has had a return on investment. This is the scope and understanding of what we're talking about, of running it through that lens. Oh, I'm going to hire some company for leads, or I'm going to hire a company that's going to give me exposure on social media. Whatever those answers are, we have to run it through that filter of what is the ROI, how do I hold it accountable, and how do I inspect what I expect in terms of where I'm spending my money, where I'm getting my leverage, who are the people that I'm surrounding myself with.